Richard! Richard, help!
Sean,
Yeah, it's me!
why are you in a sewer?
I was looking for the turtles.
You were as pathetic as you are sad. Now listen to this, because it's a Pod Bros exclusive. I'll go get a ladder. What's up, everybody? I'm Richard.
And I'm Sean.
And we're speaking the language of bromance. Sean, I figured out our mission in life.
What do we have a mission, Richard?
We have a new purpose. We have a mission in life.
Okay, what's our new mission in life?
It's okay. So I feel like I should preface this first. I watched this documentary a few days ago, and this documentary is called Kumaré. And I actually found it on YouTube. I don't know if it's supposed to be there, but that's where I found it. So I was watching this documentary, and it was about this kid grew up in New Jersey, and he was an Indian. You know, I think his grandparents were immigrants from India.
Okay.
And he grew up in a very religious household, very Hindu religious household. And he, grew up at the, very normal childhood. And as he got older, he started to become a bit more disenfranchised with the Hindu faith in general.
All right. So like most kids kind of in this time range, they kind of grow up in a heavy religious home and they start to see what else is out there because, this day and age, you have the internet, so you can see all kinds of things and read all kinds of things.
Oh, exactly. I mean, I don't know. I can't remember the specific age for me, but I know there was an age where I was like, do we have to go to church every single Sunday? Like, Dad gets to stay home all the time. Why do I have to go?
Your mom just grabs you by the ear and you're like, ow, 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 ow.
Okay, I'll go. Oh God.
If we're talking about religion and this mission, are you trying to say that we're on a mission from God?
Oh my us. I didn't even think about that. We're like the Blues Brothers.
Go grab us some shades, drive at night.
How's it go? It's 280 miles to Chicago. We've got a full tank of gas, half a pack of cigarettes. It's dark, and we're wearing sunglasses.
Oh.
That movie holds up.
I think the only scene I think I've seen from that movie is the diner scene where they just break out into the song for no reason.
Yeah, that's pretty much the whole movie.
Just breaking out in a song randomly.
Yeah, I mean it's the modern musical. That's what it is.
End up in some country western bar. Bum ba da bum ba da bum ba da bum.
Yeah. Especially the sequel, that Blues Brothers 2000. That was like, hey, we're in a country bar. Let's do blues country kind of thing. Okay. So the kid grows up, goes to college, and when he comes out of college, he decides he's going to look a bit more deeply into like Indian holy men, gurus because while he feels very disenfranchised with the whole religion thing in general, he still would look at like his grandmother and saw that his grandmother got a lot of peace from her prayers, and it was a big comfort to her.
Gotcha.
And so his line of thinking is like, there's as much peace as it brings this woman, there has to be something to it.
Yeah, there's some good to it.
Right. So he heads out west where and this is right at like the fever pitch of the kind of yoga craze where, there's like a yoga studio every,
Yeah.
third building.
Hot yoga, naked yoga, because there's nothing sexier than a sweaty vagina.
You know what? That's kind of true, and I think you should apologize.
Well, I'm just saying, is like in that studio, there's at least a handful of dudes, and there actually is nothing. I'm sorry, there are a lot of things more attractive than a sweaty ball sack.
Yes, there you go. That one I can get behind.
Because when a dude's all bent over, you got the nice view of the taint, and yeah, not good, not good.
Whoa, I've seen some shit. That's all I'm saying.
You walk into naked yoga, and you're like, oh yeah, gonna see some sweaty vaginas.
Yeah,
there's 20 other dudes with that same idea.
right. And then you open the door, and you're like, oh,
Where's all the women at? Well, this is the co-ed one. They're in the females only.
damn it, thwart again. I gotta go to bars like every other schlub. So he goes and he meets with all sorts of people claiming to be claiming to be some sort of guru, imparting their wisdom unto the masses while teaching you how to stretch your body. Okay, whatever. And he kind of finds that a lot of these Indian holy men, and I know we're on a podcast, but I am pantomiming air quotes here. They're not really, a lot of them kind of have not really their own agenda, but I mean, if you're a person that is able to use things you say as a way to kind of monetize a living, I mean, fuck, who doesn't want that? I want that.
Yeah. I think there's a thin line between having words that you saying things to make money, and then what's like a way to put that, somebody who tricks people
right
to make their money. So the snake oil, or the
there's a fine line between a preacher and a snake oil salesman.
Yeah,
I could see that. And so this kind of perpetuates, and then he's like, well, I'm gonna go to the source. So then he goes to India.
And this dude is on a mission.
He really is. So he goes to India and he says that actually he feels like the situation in India is even worse in terms of people exploiting others for, some sort of spiritual enlightenment. Like, I'm trading you spiritual enlightenment for your money or whatever. And so he's wondering, like, how easy is it to do this?
So he's not tricked. He's going to these people, and they're saying, hey, I'm gonna tell you these sweet nothings in your ear for $20, and you'll be enlightened spiritually, and then you can go on your way. But he's not buying into any of that. He kind of sees the facade.
He very much does.
Okay.
So he's wondering to himself, like, how easy is it to do this? So he decides, wait a minute, I'm Indian. He grows his hair out, and then he grows a beard.
So he's gonna full on have an experiment going on right now.
Right? It's kind of a social experiment that he puts on film. And one thing I've noticed about documentaries is I think that really good documentaries are where there's an intention in the beginning to do something or put forth some sort of point of view, and then by the end of the film, the intended purpose is completely shifted. Like, we set out to do one thing, but this ended up happening instead.
Yeah, I see what you're saying.
I think that always makes the mark of a good documentary.
I'm setting out to prove that water isn't wet, and at the end you're like, water's actually wet.
Water's wet, but maybe it's maybe it's up to you. Who knows? So he grows his hair out, he grows a beard, and he decides he's going to go by the name of Kumaré.
Okay, one name, kind of like Madonna,
right? Or Prince,
Beyonce, or Prince.
So he sets up. He gets a house in Phoenix, Arizona, because he feels like there's a real big buzz around the yoga scene. I didn't know there was a yoga scene, but apparently there is. But it's New Age philosophy is kind of is apparently very prevalent there. So he goes to Phoenix, Arizona, under this new persona of Kumaré, and his intention is to basically form a kind of following, not a cult. I'm not gonna say a cult, because it isn't. It's just, a group of people where he kind of, like they're not gonna sleep with him or give him money or anything like that.
So he's
But
like
he,
setting up like we're gonna have every Wednesday night. You're gonna come see Kumaré, and I'm gonna talk about some stuff.
right.
No donations, no nothing. Just come listen to me talk, and
Exactly. And how easy is it going to be for people to believe me? And how gullible are people going to be to just follow blindly into things that I want to do? So he started practicing some yoga. He creates some yoga moves. I want to say one looks like somebody playing an air guitar.
okay.
Like they stick like their left arm out and then use their right arm as like a windmill.
And they have to go wow wow wow.
So he makes some yoga poses, grows his hair out, starts wearing a robe, kind of one of those Dalai Lama looking robes, the red and the gold or red and yellow and stuff like that. And he's going to explore this and see kind of where it goes. So he has a couple people with him to help him book events at yoga studios and stuff like that. And so he goes and he sits and he's talking to people, and his big philosophical point is that life is an illusion, and that by breaking through the illusion of life, by understanding that everything is an illusion that things are an illusion created in your mind, you can transcend into crafting the kind of life you want. So that's the basic philosophy he's kind of putting out there. It's kind of, very general, very vague, but it, I've heard worse. So he goes and he, has his conversations with people, and he starts, meeting people and going into their homes and talking to them. And there's, and while he's doing this, he's also visiting other quote unquote spiritual healers. There's at one point where he's laying on the floor, and this guy is telling him that the entire universe is based on sound, and sound is vibration. And so he's laying down on the floor in like this little loincloth thing, and this guy is above him blowing a didgeridoo like
Okay.
all over, like head to toe, like blowing this didgeridoo all over his body. So it's that and a lot of tantric like yelling and screaming, and like it's about vibration and getting sound out and things like that.
I don't know what we're yelling about.
Loud noises. So he starts meeting people, he starts talking to people, and then he kind of goes into these profiles of people of, this is this person, she's a single mom, and she feels like she's kind of suffering from empty nest syndrome, and she's looking for some sort of not really enlightenment, but a new path to take.
Like a purpose. They're kind of looking for a purpose.
I've grown. I've grown. My kids are grown. They're out of the house. It's just me. Like, what should I do? How should I spend my time? What kind of life should I want? There's a couple that I think the guy was a recovering drug addict, and they're both everybody kind of seems like everybody seems like they're kind of looking for something. Like they've had some hardships. They have some. Everybody has their. I mean, everybody has their own story. You know what I mean?
So how was he finding these people? Was he did he put out an art like a classified ad, or was he just walking around?
These are people that he would meet in yoga studios.
Okay.
So like he would sit there and and give a talk or or whatever, give a talk, do some yoga with them, and then these people would come up to him and be like, oh, I felt a real personal connection with you. And then they would sit and chit chat. And it got to the point where he eventually established this group of about 10 to 12 people. And like I said, they all have their story, and they kind of go through each of these people and, what they're looking for and stuff like that. And they're basically, like I said, everybody's looking for something. Everybody's looking, to feel more whole, I guess. So they do, they meet, it looks like they meet maybe, once or twice a week, and he kind of talks, and they're at this house. He, like I said, he has his own little kind of house, and so they meet at his place, and he, does his talk. They do their yoga, and they eventually start to, become very, very attached to him. Not really in terms of like a messianic figure. Like, they're not looking at him like he's the next Jesus Christ. Like I said, it's not that kind of following. It's not a cult.
It's more like somebody in pop culture that really connects with their following.
Oh yeah, yeah. Basically, yeah. I would say that it's like it's a celebrity kind of. I want to say infatuation, but that's too strong a word. So he goes and does his thing, gives his talk. They eventually start, I think at one point they do like a community service project together. Like, they all get together and do some work and stuff like that. And he finally gets to the point where he's like, okay, I'm going to let them know who I really am. Like, I'm going to, do the big reveal, the big social experiment reveal, and and we'll record everything that happens. And when the time comes, he gathers everybody. They're all sitting there, and their legs, they're all sitting Indian style on one end of the pool, and he, comes out and he sits on the other end of the pool. And at this point, he prefaces it by telling them he's going to be leaving, and he hopes that they all continue this mission of self-fulfillment and self-enlightenment.
Well, it seems like up to this point, he's just kind of had like a support group. These are a bunch of people that get together and do some yoga poses. Was there more he was selling on that this yoga pose you're doing is lining yourself with your chi and all this kind of stuff? Or
I'm sure it was. I'm sure it was. And I'm sure the philosophy he was putting forth was, it's a support. I guess you could very well say it was a kind of support group. But I mean, by that token, you could say that isn't Church on Sunday a support group?
To an extent. I mean, it's a social group, I guess, but I mean, it just seems, for me, the way the social experiment is, you're getting all these people to do these moves and things, but is there a higher calling that he was saying for this, or was he just trying to say, hey, I mean, really, from the sounds of it up to this point, without seeing it, it sounds like he was just trying to say, hey, people need people to be happy, or to at least have some kind of fulfillment.
Right. And I guess the best way to put it is he was almost like some sort of motivational speaker.
Yeah, that sounds right.
It's like a TED Talk with yoga.
Yeah, that makes sense.
So it comes time for the big reveal, and he comes out and he sits down and he starts talking, and you could tell like he's like beside himself. Like he feels almost guilty. Oh, not almost. He feels guilty that he's going to do this. So he sits down and he starts talking. He's like, I'm going to be leaving, and I hope you all continue on the path that I have helped put you on. I hope you all continue on, your own individual paths and things like that. And that's it. And then he goes, and then he leaves, and he's like, I couldn't do it. Like, he couldn't do it. He was like, the thing that I didn't realize is that while they formed a connection with me, whether that connection is, that connection's very real, whether it's based on a complete bullshit lie or not, that connection's there. But the thing I didn't realize is that I formed a connection with them as well.
Yeah. So what was his lie, though? I guess that's the thing I can't figure out.
Well, I think the lie is that he's not some sort of Indian holy man. He didn't come from India and wasn't, didn't have some sort of spiritual calling.
So he was selling those moves and things as, I'm from India, or did he even say that, or was it just he was letting them assume that?
No, he was as far as I know, he was selling it as I'm this, I've come down from the mountain to preach my philosophy to the unwashed masses.
Okay, so he was a big fat liar.
Right.
Okay. That makes more sense. I thought maybe he was just like, hey, let's get together and do some yoga. This move will make you feel good.
Right.
And afterwards, they're hanging out, drinking some tea and eating, some crackers and stuff. And it's like, I had a tough week today. And he's like, well, tell me about that. It's like, well, I killed a man. wait, hold on. Shut the camera off. Aren't you a spiritual man? I'm repenting. Isn't that what you're supposed to do?
Yeah, it's like confession. That's not. No, I'm not a priest. You killed a man?
Oh God! So I just I just told you my horror story, sir. Why are you pulling out that knife?
Put the phone down. Put the fucking phone down. So he leaves. He goes away, and they presumably never to hear from these people again. He does actually. I think he does maintain contact with them through email, and I think he goes to like his class, his college class reunion, and he finally decides, he's like, I have to tell them. Like, I have to tell these people like what really went on. And so this is almost 50 days later. So almost 2 months later, he goes back and they check in with everybody, and everybody, it seems like everybody's doing really well. Like everybody kind of, takes his lessons to heart and are trying to make something better out of their lives. They seem more together. They seem more fulfilled. They're all they all seem better than they were at the start of it.
Okay. So did they keep their group together, or did they just?
I don't know if the actual group stayed together after he left. I don't think so. I mean, they all still did like the yoga poses or whatever he taught them. Like they still do all that stuff like on their own. So, like they check in with like the single mom that had the empty nest syndrome, and she like had lost like 60 or 70 pounds, and she felt good. Like everybody felt very like fulfilled. They were all kind of pursuing and doing their own thing. So he brings them all back, and they're sitting in this room, and there's a projector that's showing this thing, and it has the guy Kumaré, and he's sitting there, and he's sitting there, and he's talking like this, and that's not even his real voice. And he said he was channeling his grandmother's voice, and he's like, I am not who you think I am. I was not born and raised in India. I grew up in New Jersey. I'm not some sort of spiritual guru. I did this mainly as kind of a social experiment. But in the end, the connections that we all had are very real. And I want you to meet the real me for the first time. And the camera and the projection shuts off, and he comes in, in a shirt and jeans with short hair and no beard. And I would say out of the I think there was like 14 people that ended up following him. And there was one lady I saw who I think she owned, or she had a yoga studio, and she was following his teaching, and she felt like she wanted to, I can't remember what her aspirations were, but she was well on her way to do that. But she's after that thing, and after he walked in, and she just got up and left.
Oh wow, okay.
Like didn't say a fucking word.
So totally felt like she was taken advantage of.
Exactly. Like you could tell, like, oh, this chick's pissed. But an overwhelming majority of those 10 to 14 people stood up and walked over to him and like embraced him. and they didn't feel duped, and they didn't feel conned, and they were like, I understand what I get what you were trying to do, and regardless of what you did, it made me better. And I think at the end, he said that he still maintains contact with 10 out of the 14 people that were in his little group.
And I guess so. I mean, the one lady, I guess, had the most invested because she was trying to make a career out of this. It's almost like she was taking his model.
Well, there was one chick. She was younger. I want to say she was like in her early 20s, and she was studying. She was going to study to be a yoga instructor. Like she felt like that inspired her to do that.
Mm-hmm.
And like she still did it. Like she went and I think at the end it was like, oh, she got her instructor's license or whatever. So I mean, I think whether or not those people felt duped or whether or not they felt conned, I think that a majority of them were mature enough to say, well, I mean, I can't argue with the end result. Like I like it still made me better. It still made me a better person.
I'm trying to think of an example that, because he wasn't charging them money and he wasn't, sending them out to do anything wrong. He misrepresented himself.
Like, yeah, he wasn't like Charles Manson. He wasn't like, hey, now let's go kill people. And they're like, wait, what? No, I mean it. Let's go kill people. Like
it makes you nervous. I mean, I guess could he have done that? And probably, were those 14 people willing to follow him into that?
Yeah.
I mean, that brings into question. I mean, this guy, social experiment, yeah, and he did everything. This is Disney style Manson, I guess.
He was very kind and above board. But yeah, at one point be like, all right, now let's all grab our weapons and start. Let us commence with the looting. Like, wait, what, looting? Oh, yes. Once a month, I've decided once a month we'll go looting. Or maybe just home invasion. I mean, whatever. I'm flexible.
Just bring me back the goods.
I do yoga. I'm flexible.
I guess is that I'd like to be the kind of person that says that they wouldn't fall for that, but I'm trying to think of somebody in my life that I would see in those lights, and I mean the only person that comes to mind is kind of like Kevin Smith. There's a lot of things. Like he says to go out and do a lot of things, and that's kind of where I've come from and started doing that. Obviously, if he said home invasions, I'd be like, I don't know.
I mean, I think I'll just pick and choose.
Yeah.
But
I'll do some writing and podcasting, but I'm going to stay away from the home invasion stuff.
I'm drawing the line at B&E's.
He's like, you want another Silent Bob film, don't you? Not that bad, honestly.
Yeah,
not gonna lie.
If you want to fund it, that's cool. I mean, like I'll kickstart it, but I don't think I need to start mugging people for the Kickstarter funds. So this got me thinking. So I finished this documentary, and it really got me thinking. We have people there's people that listen to us. I mean, I know that our audience is intelligent enough that we're not going to be like, hey, let's do home invasions.
Wait, put that there right now. We do not want people to do home invasions. We are anti-home invasions.
Yeah, please, and don't know. I mean, but if you do, I mean, I'm just saying, like, if you happen to do one not related to us, and then you have stuff that you want to get, that you want to send.
That's still illegal. Illegal, Richard. So no, we don't. You steal stuff. If you even have a thought, just go see the police. They'll walk you through everything you need to do.
Right. But I mean, hypothetically.
Wait, this is my Ninja Turtle. You sons of bitches.
Yeah, they start robbing our houses and then sending our stuff back.
They're polite robbers.
Yeah. You like how this feels? No. You ask us to do it again? No.
Do another show. Do another draft. Do a draft on all the shit we stole. It was your favorite.
Exactly. I think our audience is intelligent enough. They're gonna be like, I mean, I like the drafts, but I mean, I don't know about breaking into houses and killing people.
Well, I mean, does that? So, I mean, you brought up Charles Manson. That's kind of a, that's the paper, or not the paper boy. What do they call that? Oh, what the hell do they call that when it's like the person that you hold up to be like, this is the example of that?
Well, he's an example of what? Of what not to do?
Well, yeah, what not to do and taking that to the extreme. So, I mean, he got a group of people together and, these are people who are highly influential.
Yeah.
And influenced them to do things that they probably normally wouldn't have done.
Right.
And I mean, is that just a certain aspect of people, or is that something that, everybody's, has the opportunity to be brainwashed that way? And this guy didn't really brainwash anybody. He, everything he did was for the better.
But somebody could easily take that and to a much darker place.
Oh yeah, definitely.
I think that. Do I think that anybody is capable of being brainwashed? I think it depends on the person. I think that I'm not going to say that some people are weak-willed. I mean, I would think that I do think that some people are weak-willed and some people aren't. But I think that's just a gauge of potential to be brainwashed. Not, do I think that anybody can be? Yeah, to an extent. I mean, that's why we have advertising.
Yeah, good point. Yeah, advertising is the socially accepted way of brainwashing.
Yeah, it is.
Richard, right now I'm drinking out of a cold glass of Mountain Dew. Do the dew. Wait, what were we talking about?
I don't know, but now I have to drink a Mountain Dew. But anyway, my point here is I think that we there's a group of people that listen to us. And there's a group of people that are interested in what we have to say. I think we should take this a step further, Sean. I think we should go beyond the podcast and form a religion.
All right. So, what kind of religion are we going to form?
I don't know, but here's the thing. So I bought some land in the southern United States, and I think we should start a commune.
All right.
So right now we're going to sit here and we're going to draw up the doctrine of our religion, the law and the laws for our utopian paradise that is it's got to have a catchy name. Let's see. It's got to be this like utopian kind of paradise name. Even if it isn't, even if it's just like this like batch of swampland in the middle of the Florida Everglades, it's got to have this really catchy, awesome name.
I don't know, maybe like the language of paradise, or maybe the Bromance Paradise. Paradise of Bromance.
Bromance-a-do.
It just turns into a nudist colony for gay people. Which is fine. It'll be fun.
Yeah, I don't think we should have bromance in the time, because then all we'll get is dudes.
All right, first rule, everyone has to be naked. Where's all the women at?
Where's all of them? They're coming, we promise. We're going to have a recruitment drive.
Hey, Thaler. Oh, God.
Damn it. No, wrong kind of recruitment drive. So in this religion, I mean, obviously, you and I will be the Christ-like figures.
All right,
we'll be the messiahs, and we need a philosophy. We'll preach a philosophy of that everything in that bromance equals romance, and that damn it, we are going to get a lot of gay people.
I was just trying to think, is this a way for you to take me to away from my wife on a piece of land and us to share a room together?
Where's all the other people at? Click, click. Why'd you lock the door?
Show up, it's just me, you naked outside and the sun shining down. Yeah. Like, I didn't bring enough suntan lotion for this, Richard. That's all right. I'll cover you with love. Oh, God.
Where's everybody else? I don't know. Drink this tea. It'll relax you.
Are these chains necessary? No, but they're more fun, aren't they? I'm Richard, and this is the language of bromance. This is my bitch over here, Sean.
Say hi.
He can't talk. He can't talk because he's got the ball gag in his mouth. Ooh.
What he's saying right now is that he's super happy to be here.
That's funny. And scary at the same time.
He is not saying call the police. Today we're going to talk about home invasions. You want another draft, don't you? Yes.
I'm trying to think of a little like a utopian, because I mean, you see that was big in the 70s. I don't know if there's still a lot of those out there now, like communes of, peace, love, and all that kind of stuff. I'd assume there are.
Oh, there totally is. I would say that it seems like there are a lot more kind of the eco-friendly, very, it's kind of shied away from a commune in the sense that like, oh, we all just like hang out and like have sex with each other. It seems like it's more lean towards this kind of like homesteading kind of aspect. There's one it's in Missouri. It's where is it? There's this town. It's called Dancing Rabbit.
All right, that's a
And
cool name.
It is. It's an eco village, and it is just outside of. There was a show about it. Morgan Spurlock did a show on it. Actually, it was it's just outside of Kirksville, Missouri.
Oh, okay, so up north. Yeah.
Right. So it's called Dancing Rabbit. It's less than 10 miles outside of Kirksville, and it's just this group of people that build their own homes, and they have their own power. It's very off the grid, and they all just work together to farm and hang out together. I think they have like their own. They create their own power. They have their own power. They have their own water source, and they all just it's just this group of houses that. And I think they offer they have you can come and visit and learn different techniques on how to homestead yourself, like how to dig a well and and shit like that. So yeah, they're still out there.
I mean, I guess is it more like these people are just trying to stay off the grid is what they're trying to do.
Yeah, and that's what it seems like. That's the whole commune aspect. It seems is kind of lean towards the like, hey, we're a group of homesteaders that have kind of formed a collective, rather than hey, we all just hang out in a house and take acid and fuck all day.
Yeah, I was just kind of looking and so the one they have like their members. And one of them on here is talking about these two, and they're discovering the diversity in a patch of grass. And it looks like she's smoking something. So, Richard, I think they just take acid and live off of solar power.
But what a life, huh?
I mean, it can't be all that bad. I mean, it wouldn't. I mean, we talk about that all the time. If it wasn't for the bad things, like the comforts of life right now, your internet, your movies. Stuff like that is the main thing I would miss if I was off the grid.
Right.
Other than that, it wouldn't be all that bad. We talked about that before, like trying to go back to that. I mean, it seems like probably people that go right into this either are completely tired of all that stuff, or they've never really gotten into those things. So going into these type of off the grid places are fine for them. They're like, hey, I didn't care for this stuff anyway, so why burden myself with, the temptations of it? I'm just going to jump right into this thing. But, for people like you and I who are really, really like this stuff, I mean, I guess, if we started our own commune, would it be, you and I have the internet and go out and see movies while everybody else just lives in their own filth and
perfect.
It's like, where are you guys going? We're going up the mountain. We're going up the mountain.
We're going to go have a conversation with God.
with Marvel. We're gonna go preach to Marvel.
Oh, great. No, see, perfect. No, wait, no, I've got this.
Right.
I've got this. It's perfect, okay? So we have this commune, all right? And our religion is the Force.
Okay, all right.
So this way we could be like, oh, we're going to go, commune. We're going to go commune with the spirits. And we just go see like episode 8.
So do we show people in the commune these movies, or we just we reenact them. That's what we do.
Oh, yes, we reenact them.
It's like every night we just redo an episode line for line. It's just you and me on stage.
We just come back and we're like, okay, new project. Everybody's making costumes.
Wardrobe change, Margaret. Come on. You want those metachlorians, don't you?
Yes. Want up that midichlorian count? Yes.
All right. I like your attitude. It just went up one.
A little less talky, a little more soey.
Kind of feels like we're going to the dark side, don't you think, Rich? Nah.
No.
Look at all this work we're giving these people.
Right? They're having purpose.
Can I have some more porridge? More?
Did Luke ask for more blue milk? No, he didn't.
We're doing Yoda's work here, Richard. We're doing Yoda's work.
And be perfect. And then that would give us an excuse to wear robes.
All day. So
Yeah.
Would we just have lights for our lightsabers, or would we go out and buy actual good high quality lightsabers, and that's what we'd fight with when we're on our
yeah, of course, because then then when people people would have to graduate up, and then we would buy we would give them a lightsaber. We'd be like, we're ready to introduce you as a town elder. So here's your lightsaber. See, but the problem is with any good commune, there's got to be drugs and sex, right? So how do you do that? Because I didn't see Jedi sleeping with people. Well, I mean Anakin, but
yeah, you gotta have if we're going full force, you and I we got to get cut off from the booty. Can you handle that, Richard?
Yeah. See, now this is a terrible idea. This went from being a great idea to a terrible idea.
All right, so Richard, so you're like, Sean, you're the Jedi, and I'm just, I'm the Emperor. I'm the Emperor.
I'm
you're
the Emperor.
Jedi.
And I want to go in the Emperor's tent. Everybody's naked in the Emperor's tent.
Can I come in? No, Sean, you're a Jedi.
No.
Go to the Jedi tent.
Jedis can't participate in the weekly orgies. Only the Emperor can.
But there's nobody else here in this commune. Well, there's this straw person I made, so I'm just fine.
Who are you having orgies with? It's just...
I just hear, I miss my wife.
It's a bunch of mannequins with lightsabers. Where are the lightsabers going? That's not your business.
And the farmer's land that we're on comes out. Is like, listen, you fellas been out here for a couple weeks. I'm getting sick and tired of your shit. Will you just go home?
Right.
Can we have a ride, please? We're hungry.
You've been hooping and hollering, and you've been I don't know what's been going on with those lightsabers. Every night I see this naked man weeping in front of the doors to a tent.
I'm missing my prize Gert Myrtle. You just kind of point at me. I think the Jedi took it. You son of a bitch!
Just leave. Please leave.
Can we have a ride to town? All right, get in the back.
Yay! Free car ride.
This was a terrible idea, wasn't it, Richard? Yeah. Yeah, it was, Sean.
But
we're not going to tell anybody about this, are we?
No.
We'll tell the internet.
That's what it is. Be like, okay, so we've come back from our commune experiment, and Sean's a little emotionally scarred. My ass hurts.
What's the opposite of successful? Because that's what this was.
I think unmitigated disaster doesn't do it justice.
New Star Wars movie's coming out. You want to see it? No. I don't want to see it.
We can sit next to no.
Trailer comes on. We both just start crying again.
It's just one big emotional scar. No. You know what? No. I've got faith. I'm putting my faith in the Force. I think we can do this. So we'd have this. So we get a group of people. We get some land down in the southern U.S. It's got to be the southern U.S. because I think if we're doing something with nudity, we got to have warm climate.
Yeah, I'm not. Are you thinking Arizona area? Or are you thinking Florida?
I'm thinking I'm all for a dry heat.
We got to get a pool.
I don't
or
want a bunch
something.
of naked people running around in humid weather.
Yeah,
I think that just makes for a not good scenario.
Well, otherwise, I think if we're running around, we got to have a ton of suntan lotion because that sun is going to be beating on us in that desert.
Yeah.
And I don't know if you've ever had your pee-pee all burned, but it
That
is
would-
not fun.
That would be our morning ritual. We just all
Lather up.
lather up. Like, I don't know. There's a big group of pale, naked guys with lightsabers running around the desert.
Well, again, this is going to start out as just you and me.
Are they lightsabers? Are they lightsabers?
They're their penises.
Oh, God. It's their penises.
Well, yeah, you think about this, Richard. It's going to be you and I starting this. So each morning for like 3 months, we're going to be lathering ourselves up and be like, no, they're going to come. The rest of them are going to come.
Right.
They're never going to come, are they, Richard?
Here's how we attract people. No, I got it. Here's how we attract people. Polygamy.
Is that what brings people in?
Yeah, that's going to be the draw.
Well, I think you don't even think about like marriage or anything in that situation, right? It's just everybody's just kind of it's one big
point.
marriage.
Yeah.
Or there's no marriage at all.
I think the trick is how to get the ladies, because ladies are a lot smarter than we are.
Yeah.
And I think they'll see through the ruse.
Again, you're selling it as Jedi, Force, polygamy, and lightsabers. It's just going to be a bunch of dudes.
Yeah. Yeah.
So for 3 months, when we start getting more people coming in, just going to be some nerdy people. So this is where we come to be in the Jedi commune.
We're like, damn it, it's another one. Yeah.
So who lathers me up first? Let's do this, guys.
Yeah.
I don't even care that there's no ladies here. This is fun on its own. Jedi Master Richard, you missed a spot. Oh, God. I did.
This was a terrible idea. Why did I think of it? Why couldn't we do the home invasions? I would prefer home invasions to this.
As you're putting lotion where you need to put yours here. Richard, my lightsaber's on.
God damn it.
I want to go home.
I miss the love of a woman. But then we would be like Anakin, because then we would betray the Jedi Order and all the beliefs.
We meet one night. It's like, let's just leave these guys here.
They'll be fine. I mean, they've seen the movies. They know what happens. Like,
No, so we pull like what was the guy's name you're talking about? Ramaku, or what was his name?
Kumaré.
Kumaré. So we'll pull Kumaré. We'll come out and be like,
all
right,
this was bullshit. We were just trying to get a bunch of girls down here in the desert, and all you guys showed up, and this isn't fun anymore.
And it's the one guy there. He's like, oh, I knew that, dude. I just wanted to see how long you keep touching my penis. I haven't been loved like
this. This isn't
this.
fun anymore. In fact, it wasn't really ever fun to begin with. So we're gonna go, and I mean, if you guys want to stay, that's up to you. Oh, see, so then we'd leave, and then we'd come back after like 5 years or something, and then
Because we felt a bond. You wake up in a cold sweat, be like, "Oh my God, I hope Steve's still putting lotion on his wiener."
I miss Thomas. But we come back, and they've like erected statues. Like, we come back, and it's like, oh my God, they've returned. It's the second coming.
Steve and Thomas both have massive beards, and like, we have just coined ourselves the new Jedi Masters.
Seems and like it's this big thriving community. That'd be awesome. And then they have girls. I'm like, okay, so we're back, and we're gonna. I mean, we'll take it. We'll take it from here, fellas.
It takes you aside. That's not how this works, dude. You gotta start from the bottom. Well, what does that mean? Well, you gotta put lotion on all the dudes.
When I say bottom, I mean bottom. Oh, this is just like it was.
I've missed you so much, Richard.
This is a terrible idea. Why did we come back?
We always make the wrong decisions, Richard. Yeah, I think that's a terrible idea. We shouldn't start our own religion.
No. I mean, it sounded good in theory. In theory, I was picturing, as this big sprawling community, and then Like we walk through town and everybody's like, woo.
I mean, is that all you really want, is just to be noticed in a crowd of people and people woot you?
I mean, that doesn't sound terrible,
Like, there goes Richard. Hi, Richard.
right?
You don't want to hear, there goes Richard. That dude totally put lotion on my wiener
Oh.
for months.
Oh. Why do you always kill my dream?
That's what I do, man. That's what I do. All right,
Damn you and your reality and your logic.
Well, I guess, do you want to throw out any Richard's closing thoughts to tie this episode up?
Is there a difference between an Indian philosopher or someone claiming to be an Indian philosopher and a guy saying he can turn water to wine? I don't know. I mean, maybe not. Do I personally have an inherent problem with religion? No, not really, because I mean, in the end, I would say that a lot of it is fairly good moral philosophy to follow, but there's always the potential for abuse. And I think when you're dealing with fragile people, or when you're dealing with high metaphysical concepts and spirituality and stuff like that, it's easy to exploit it, and it's easy to abuse it. But I don't think that should detract from the thought that everybody could take take religion as a philosophy. And when you do that, I think that there is some inherent benefit to somebody saying, hey, you can be better. And I think that we're all striving to be better, and I don't think there's anything wrong with somebody else showing you a way that you can be. And that's it.
Beautiful. All right. Well, I will do a little bit of housekeeping. I will do a little bit of this tent cleanup here.
Yeah. Yeah. Don't mind the tissues, because I've had a cold.
They were just tears. All right. Visit our website. We're at languageofbromance.com. Follow us on Twitter. We're at languageofbro. Email us at eatthebeaver@languageofbromance.com. Like us on Facebook. Check us out on the Pocket Cast app, which is on iOS, Androids, and Windows phones. And subscribe and leave a review on iTunes and Stitcher.
And don't forget to check us out in our new special commune that I just built.
The Pod Bros Network?
Maybe.
The best podcast network site on the internet, where you can commune and meet people and
hopefully there's no lotion involved.
And check if you are in the need for some headbuds, go to tweakedaudio.com, use the promo code LOBARMY, and you get 33% off.
You know what? I'm tired of your proselytizing.
I'm going to finish this Mountain Dew real quick before I finish the rest of the show. All right, was there anything else before I close her out?
No, just do the do.
Cha-ching, cha-ching. All right, well, that's all the bromance we have for this show. I'm Sean.
And I'm Richard.
And I say we eat the beaver.